How to solve probability questions on the GED math test. Are you ready to tackle probability questions on the General Educational Development Mathematics test? Understanding probability is key to solving these problems. Probability tells us how likely an event is to occur. It is expressed as a fraction or ratio of favorable outcomes to the total number of possible outcomes. Let's break this down step by step. First, identify the total number of possible outcomes. For instance, if you roll a 6-sided die, there are 6 possible outcomes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, determine the number of favorable outcomes. If you want to know the chance of rolling a 3 or greater, the favorable outcomes are 3, 4, 5, and 6. That gives you for favorable outcomes. Now, we can calculate the probability using a simple formula. The formula is probability equals the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. In our die example, the probability of rolling a 3 or greater is divided by 6, which simplifies to 2/3. Next, let's look at the difference between simple and compound events. Simple events involve one outcome, like flipping a coin once. Compound events involve 2 or more outcomes happening together, such as rolling a die and flipping a coin at the same time. When solving compound probability problems, you will use different rules. For independent events, where one event does not affect the other, you multiply the probabilities of each event. For example, the chance of rolling a 3 or greater, which is 2/3, and flipping heads, which is 1/2, can be calculated by multiplying these probabilities. So, 2/3 times 1/2 equals 1/3. For dependent events, where one event affects the next, you need to adjust the total number of outcomes after the first event. If you pick a green marble from a bag and do not put it back, the total number of marbles decreases for the next pick. It is also important to know some key terms. Mutually exclusive events cannot happen at the same time. The probability of either event happening is the sum of their individual probabilities. The complement of an event is the probability that it does not happen, which is 1 minus the probability that it does. To practice, consider this example. If there is an 80% chance it will snow each day for 7 days, the probability it will snow every day is 0.8 raised to the 7th power. You can calculate this using a calculator. When drawing cards or marbles, count the number of desired items and divide by the total number. Using a calculator can help with decimal probabilities and powers, especially for compound events. Remember, multiplying probabilities is not the same as multiplying the numbers directly. For example, 0.8 to the 5th power is not 5 times 0.8 but 0.8 multiplied by itself 5 times. To summarize, when solving probability questions on the General Educational Development Mathematics test, understand the type of event you are dealing with, count the total and favorable outcomes, and use the correct formulas. Adjust totals for dependent events and practice interpreting word problems carefully. This approach aligns with the requirements of the General Educational Development Mathematical Reasoning section, focusing on the skills needed to calculate probabilities accurately.